that I went into the show, and I heard that he DMs you like during like Fifth Harmony, and so Fifth Harmony came on and he never DM'd me, and I was freaking out, and then I was just like I was like I DM'd him again, and I was like, Mike, someone told me, like, I heard that like you choose doing Fifth Harmony. I don't mean to bother you, but like, did you choose yet? I'm just freaking out. This is my dream. And then he still didn't answer. And then like the Vamps were like playing like their second to last song, and that's when I started freaking out. And I was like, Mike, please. And then all I see is wrote back, hey, like HAY, hey. And I was like, oh my god. And I was like, I just wrote back, hey, with the praying emoji. And he was like, meet me stage left. And like that's when I knew. And I couldn't believe it. So like I ran over there, and I was like walking over to go see him, and then like all my friends that were in front row, they're like, Sam, are you gonna be UGirl? Because like you could see Mike in the corner like waiting for me. And so I ran over and I talked to him, and right when I walked over, I was like, he's like okay. And then he guided me a little farther backstage, and he's like, you're gonna be UGirl. And like I was just like, oh my god. I was like, thank you so much. Like I never said thank you so much in my life. I just kept saying thank you and hugging him. I hugged him like 4 times, and he was probably like, oh my god, because like I just couldn't stop saying thank you and hugging him. And then he's like, okay, meet me back like the same spot right back here after Till I Find You. So I was like, okay. And he's like, but don't tell anyone. And I was like, I won't. And so I walk back, and then everyone's like grabbing me, and they're like, are you UGirl? People are like staring at me, and I was just like, like I couldn't tweet it, but like some people like already like could tell, because like I just talked to Mike backstage, like it was kind of pretty obvious. And then like all these people were asking, and I was like, yeah. And I was so happy, and everyone's like hugging me, and it was crazy. And then I'm like, my stomach, like I felt so sick. I was so nervous. And then Till I Find You started playing. Like, well, like what was like before, like when Austin was like looking for like the, you know how he does like that big thing where he looks for like the special girl. And I was like, oh my god, like this is crazy, because there was like all these people decided to just run in the aisles. So I'm trying to squeeze by all of them. And the security guard, he told me to go the other way, and I was like screaming at him. I was like, no, I'm gonna be UGirl. Mike told me to be on this way, and I just shoved right through him when I walked. And then I ran back, and then everyone's like, Sam. And then I gave my friend Emily my phone, because she was like the very front row, so she could record my video. So I find Mike, because Mike was waiting right there, and he's like, are you ready? And I was just like, yeah. And he's like, are you nervous? And I was like, yeah, I'm just nervous and excited. And so he took me backstage, and like, so they were singing Till I Find You, and Mike took me in like the little like part like where you can like open the doors, but like the doors were closed, but I could see the whole performance, but no one could see me. It's like a 2-sided door. So I was watching Till I Find You with him, and I was just shaking, and I just kept saying thank you, because like I didn't know what to say. Like it was wicked awkward, and because like I was just so nervous. And then like halfway through the performance, he took me out of that like little box thing, because like there's like a curtain that takes you like into the box to like go out there. And then he told me to watch out for my skirt, and I was like, I got spandex, I'm all good. And he was like, okay, good. And then all the dancers like came up to me, and they're like introducing themselves, and I was like, hi. And then the two of them walked me out, and like they like I got interviewed and like asked questions behind the curtain. So like they were like 3 simple questions. He told me right before, he's like, I'm gonna ask you 3 questions, like where are you? I thought he said where are you sitting, but I guess he said where are you. So like he's like, what's your name? And I was like, Sam. And then he's like, where are you? And I was like row DD section 1. And he's like, no, where are you? And I was like, I just pointed. I was like, I'm over there. I'm sitting over there in section 1. He's like, no, you're in Manchester, New Hampshire. And I was like, oh, I'm in New Hampshire. And and then it was so funny, and I was so embarrassing, and I swear to God, if they put that in a tour life or something, because I guess they do that to the other girls. And then he's like, how you feel right now? And I was like, excited and nervous. I was like, excited, and he's like, are you nervous? And I was like, yes. And then he put the camera away, and then they were like, are you ready? And I was like, yeah. And then they stuck their hands out, and I grabbed them, and then they walked me to the stool, and then I was just, the first thing I did was like try to find where Austin was. I'm sorry, I'm shaking really bad right now. And I looked over and I saw him and he was smiling, and I was just like, oh my god, like this is real. Like I didn't feel like he was a real person, and then he hugged me and I was just like, oh my god. And then when I saw his face come next to mine, I was kind of like in shock. Like I felt like he was fake and like this was the dream. And so he did that, and then he was singing to me, and I couldn't believe it. And then just like when I just can't, I can't even talk. And then when he was dancing, I tried to like look in the audience to see people, but like when you're up stage, you can't see anything. Like all I could see was like light. I could see my friend Emily in the front row, and like Kaylee, and Kaylee they were all screaming, and so I was like waving, and then I see my mom crying with my best friend Jez, and then I saw April cry. Like it's just like everyone was so emotional. And then like when he took me off the seat, I was like, that's when my heart stopped. Well, no, my heart stopped when he kissed me, because like he's like, what's your name, sweetie? And I was like, Sam. He's like, give it up for Sam, everybody. And then he kissed me, and like this cheek right here, he kissed me right here, and oh my god, it was like I was so happy. And then like when he took me off the stool, like he hugged me so much though, like when I was on stage, and like I could not be more like grateful. And then after, when we were walking backstage, like he grabbed my hand, so I just like grabbed his hand back, and then he kept like moving his hand, and then we intertwined fingers, and I was like so cute. And he's like, did you have a fun time? And I was like, yes. And then we went backstage, and he spun me, and he hugged me like wicked tight. Like he literally didn't let go of me the whole time until like the song was like the very last word. But like as we were backstage hugging, I was like, you're literally the only reason I'm alive. I love you so much. Like I can never. No, I didn't say I love you. I was like, you're literally the only reason I'm alive. I can't thank you enough for that. And he's like, I love you so much, Sam. And I was like, I love you more. And then he looked at me and he smiled, and then he had to go, and I was just like, I couldn't believe it.